Have you ever wondered how the loss of wealth could lead to the birth of a philosophy that has shaped Western thought for centuries? This is the story of Zenon of Citium. Born in the year 334 before the Common Era in the city of Citium, Cyprus, Zenon's life was set to take an extraordinary path. But it wasn't always so. In his early years, Zenon was a wealthy merchant, living a life many could only dream of. But fate had other plans. A shipwreck led to the loss of his wealth, and Zenon found himself in Athens, penniless but hungry for knowledge. Instead of wallowing in despair, Zenon turned to philosophy. He sought wisdom to cope with his misfortune, immersing himself in the teachings of the Cynics and the ideas of Socrates. And so, Zenon began his philosophical journey, little knowing that he was about to change the course of intellectual history. In the pursuit of wisdom, Zenon found himself drawn to the teachings of the Cynics and the ideals of Socrates. This is where our philosopher's journey truly begins. With the loss of his wealth, Zenon turned to a wealth of a different sort, the wealth of knowledge. He sought wisdom not just as a means of coping, but as a pathway to understanding the world and his place within it. Zenon's interest in cynicism was no mere coincidence. The Cynics, with their disregard for material possessions and societal norms, offered a philosophy that resonated with Zenon's own experiences. The Cynics argued that virtue was the only true good, and that happiness could be achieved through self-sufficiency and freedom from material desires. This philosophy, with its emphasis on virtue and simplicity, appealed to Zenon. It was a philosophy that was not about having, but about being. Yet, Zenon's philosophical leanings were not solely shaped by cynicism. He was also profoundly influenced by the teachings of Socrates. Socrates, with his unyielding pursuit of truth and his belief in the power of reason, left a deep impression on Zenon. From Socrates, Zenon learned the value of questioning, of seeking, and of thinking. He learned that wisdom was not simply about knowing, but about understanding. These influences, the Cynics with their emphasis on virtue and simplicity, and Socrates with his commitment to reason and understanding, became the foundation for Zenon's own philosophical journey. They provided him with the tools to navigate his own path, a path that would eventually lead to the birth of Stoicism. But Zenon was not simply a student of philosophy. He was a philosopher in his own right. He took the teachings of the Cynics and the wisdom of Socrates and used them to craft his own unique philosophy. He took the emphasis on virtue from the Cynics and the commitment to reason from Socrates and combined them into a philosophy that was uniquely his own. Armed with the teachings of the Cynics and the wisdom of Socrates, Zenon was ready to carve his own philosophical path. And so the stage was set for the birth of Stoicism, a philosophy that would shape not only Zenon's life, but also the course of Western thought. From the painted porches of Athens, a new school of thought was born, Stoicism. A philosophy that would echo through the ages, Stoicism was the brainchild of Zenon of Citium, a man who had turned his personal misfortune into a quest for wisdom. Named for the Stoa Poikile, the painted porch where Zenon and his followers gathered, Stoicism was not just a philosophy, it was a way of life. Its foundation lay in the concept of living in harmony with nature and reason. Zenon proposed that the universe was governed by a divine rational principle, often referred to as logos. He believed that to lead a fulfilling life, one must strive to align oneself with this logos, to understand the natural order and flow of existence. But Stoicism was not just about understanding the world. It was also about understanding oneself. It taught individuals to focus on what was within their control, their thoughts, their actions, and their reactions. Life will always throw challenges our way, Zenon argued, but we have the power to choose how we respond to them. This emphasis on personal agency and resilience is what set Stoicism apart. At the heart of Stoicism was the pursuit of virtue. Drawing from the teachings of Socrates, Zenon held that virtue was the highest good, the key to true happiness or eudaimonia. A virtuous life, he said, was one marked by wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. External circumstances, be they wealth or health, were indifferent in the grand scheme of things. They held no sway over one's moral integrity. Stoicism was more than just a set of philosophical ideas. It was a guide for living, a roadmap to a life of virtue and resilience. It was a call to rise above the chaos of life's events, to find serenity in the face of adversity, and to seek happiness within oneself, not in external trappings. Stoicism, a philosophy rooted in personal agency and resilience, began to resonate in the hearts and minds of many. As we delve deeper into Zenon's teachings, we'll see how this ancient philosophy continues to influence our modern world. The foundation of Stoicism lay in Zenon's belief in the pursuit of virtue as the highest good. This belief was not just an abstract ideal for Zenon, it was a way of life, a path to true happiness, or eudaimonia as he termed it. To understand Zenon's teachings, one must first grasp his conception of virtue. According to Zenon, virtue is characterized by wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. It is not just about doing the right thing, but doing it for the right reasons. It's about understanding the world, standing strong in the face of adversity, treating others fairly, and managing our desires and emotions. Zenon taught that the virtuous life is the happy life. He believed that true happiness is not found in external circumstances, such as wealth or health. Instead, it is found within, in the cultivation of virtue and the pursuit of moral excellence. It's about being at peace with oneself, irrespective of what life throws at you. This brings us to another crucial aspect of Zenon's teachings, the stoic indifference to external circumstances. Zenon encouraged his followers to focus on what they could control, their thoughts, actions, and reactions, and to accept with equanimity the external events beyond their control. He taught that while we cannot control the world around us, we can control our response to it. For Zenon, maintaining moral integrity was of utmost importance. He believed that we should not compromise our virtues for the sake of external circumstances. Whether in times of prosperity or adversity, Zenon emphasized the need to stay true to our principles, to act with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. The essence of Zenon's teachings can be summed up in this simple yet profound idea. The world may change, our circumstances may change, but our commitment to virtue should remain steadfast. For Zenon, true happiness was not in wealth or health, but in living a virtuous life. Though many of Zenon's original works did not survive, his influence continued to shape Stoicism and the Western thought. The teachings of Zenon, born out of his personal experiences and philosophical explorations, left a profound impact on Stoic ethics. His emphasis on virtue, self-control, and inner strength in the face of challenges became the core tenets of Stoic philosophy. Zenon's successors, such as Cleanthes and Chrysippus, carried the torch of Stoicism, refining and expanding its principles. They built on Zenon's foundational teachings, ensuring that Stoicism remained a dominant philosophical school in the Hellenistic and Roman periods. Stoicism wasn't confined to academic circles, however. It found its way into the hearts and minds of some of history's most influential figures. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, for instance, was an ardent follower of Stoicism. His writings, now known as Meditations, are filled with Stoic wisdom, reflecting the profound influence of Zenon's teachings on his life and reign. But Zenon's legacy doesn't end there. His teachings have transcended time, finding relevance even in our modern world. Contemporary discussions on ethics and personal development often echo Stoic principles. The idea of focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot, of pursuing virtue and maintaining moral integrity, continues to resonate with many seeking a meaningful life. In a world where external circumstances can be unpredictable and often beyond our control, Zenon's teachings offer a compass to navigate life's storms with equanimity. They remind us of the power of our own thoughts, actions, and reactions, and the possibility of finding happiness and peace within ourselves, irrespective of external circumstances. Zenon of Citium, the architect of Stoicism, left an indelible mark on the intellectual history of the Western world, a legacy that continues to resonate today. His philosophy, born on a painted porch in Athens over 2,000 years ago, continues to inspire, guide, and provide solace, shaping minds and lives across the globe. Stoicism, born out of one man's quest for wisdom, continues to guide us in the pursuit of a meaningful life. Its enduring relevance is testament to the timeless wisdom of Zenon of Citium. The core tenets of Stoicism, grounded in rationality, virtue, and resilience, remain as pertinent today as they were over 2 millennia ago. In a world often marked by uncertainty and change, Stoicism offers a beacon of stability. It tells us to focus on our own thoughts, actions, and reactions, those aspects of life we can truly control. It encourages us to cultivate inner strength, to face life's trials with equanimity. And above all, it reminds us that virtue is the highest good, that true happiness lies in wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. And so, In the face of life's challenges, we remember Zenon's teachings, reminding us to focus on what we can control and to live with virtue, strength, and equanimity.